Hello and welcome to jobskillshare.org. In this video, I will show you how to set up SCCM on Azure. Now, I know that SCCM is no longer the right name for this. So what is the right name? We have started a series for Microsoft Endpoint Manager. Now, SCCM, which is the old name, is currently known as Configuration Manager, and that's what basically it is. So the current series that we're doing right now is 100% Intune. You go to the Microsoft Office 365 admin or Azure and you get 100%. You're controlling the machines, devices, users directly from your portal. So that's under the Intune. What about those in on-premises type of servers? Do we still have the solution? Yes, that solution is the SCCM, but now they call it Configuration Manager. So as you can see right here, that's what it is. Configuration Manager. Configuration Manager is an on-premises management. On-premises meaning like a building having Active Directory and everything in there. And now it has the capability that you can enable cloud, so you can integrate these two together. So you could have management going on with Intune, and you can have management with this. So it's like a half-half. You could do updates on one and do the other things on another one. So I could push a service updates on this one, or I could control servers by this one. So yes, it is confusing. Don't worry about it. The more you watch, the more you're going to learn. But again, that SCCM part, let's go back to it because it's important for our help desk. And why am I making this video? I'm making this video for entry-level professionals when they usually send us emails, calls that, hey, I want to prepare myself for SCCM because I feel like I saw that in description. They're going to ask me questions about it. So then we tell people that, look, SCCM is a pretty big software. I mean, like a product, right? So if you look at it, SCCM even have its own titles, lead SCCM administrator, per hour $56. So what I want to tell you is that, SCCM in itself is a skill, to be honest. Like if you know about SCCM a lot, you could actually land a job somewhere and they may call it a new thing now, like, configuration manager, administrator, whatever they want to call you. But, that's like at that level. So don't worry about that type of questions that you think that they're going to ask you questions about how to set up SCCM unless you go for a specific job like that or a sysadmin job. If you're going to be going for this help desk type of jobs, like help desk, IT support technician type of jobs, and that's where you need to realize that they're not asking you to set up the whole SCCM. They're actually looking for that remote management type of tool in SCCM, maybe application deployment. And I said that in my other videos that you can counter that if you don't want to follow this video and you think this is too advanced for you. You can say something that I used tools like SCCM for remote management, such as blah, 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 that whatever from our videos or from our trainings, you could use that. But in this video, I will show you a very easy way that can be done on Azure. Yes, maybe with trial cost or maybe with your own money cost, but you should get it very easily. You won't be taking any stress in this type of lab. I can guarantee you on that now. So the first thing is, of course, you're going to log into your portal.azure.com. Now, of course, in this video, I'm not showing to do whole registrations and everything. You either get a trial version in Azure, or you basically, if you bought this access subscription, then two warnings that I want to give you. Number one is if you're going to be using your trial period, it's going to start and it's going to end. So I wouldn't recommend doing that, because if you do the trial period for your $200 and we say that in the future that, look, you're going to need this money for future learning, then save it for that, because then it's more beneficial, because here you're only looking for one skill and you're going to lose that $200. Other than that, if you don't have that trial capability, then you can do this whole process, learn what I am going to show you today for the basics for our task in this lab, and then after that, delete it, remove it. If you're going to be a sysadmin or trying to learn this SCCM for a longer period, then know that there's going to be a cost related to your services, compute, anything that you run on Azure, there are going to be costs. So just a quick warning for people who are going to try this. So once you got the subscription ready and everything is done, go to the documentation, watch some videos. I'm sure that's something easy you can do. Here, simple thing, you have to do a few things right here. Number one is, if you go to the resources, first check if you have any resources already. I'm sure you won't have anything, because you're probably using a brand new resource. If you already have Azure running, and make sure that you now have a new resource name available for this type of setup. So how do you do this setup? To install, simply go to Google and type install configuration manager current branch in Azure, just like that. So if I do this, of course, like this, and the first link is a template that is going to take you back to this page. So thank you to Yang for creating this template. What it's going to do, it's going to create 4 to 5 Azure machines, VMs. It's going to create some networks. It's going to create an Active Directory. It's going to do things in Active Directory, and SQL Server will also be created. So that is the whole point of automation using PowerShell and workflow and different type of things that is basically kind of comes with this cloud type of technologies. Again, just read stuff over here. Now, one of the things that you should know that in this, because Active Directory is getting created in this lab, so they're using contoso.com, and the script is coming from here. So if you're interested in knowing what is happening, so just go to this JSON file right here, and you can see everything in step by step. What kind of network will be created for DC DC configuration, and then you have some firewall rules, roles, DC, the other machines, or VM info. Then that is the info that is going to be created into that whole automation. Okay, I wouldn't mess with the script. Definitely don't do that when you're new. Just go with it. It's tested, and if there's issues, if you're brand new, try to redo it again. If you really want to play around and learn how to troubleshoot things in Azure, then yes, that's a good way to learn things, because you have a lot of different things that are happening, and it's going to give you that little bit more insight. So here you're going to click on deploy. You need to be logged into your Azure. Now keep in mind that when you do this, there is going to be resources that is going to be used. So if you're using a trial version, keep in mind that that's going to cost you. So my recommendation, if you're brand new, don't try to use that, because maybe that may be useful in learning Azure AZ104 or other courses. If you don't have trial, then make sure to delete this resource as soon as you play around with it and you get the point that I can learn the basics, and after that I don't care, because if I really want to learn about SCCM, then maybe you should do this in an on-premises environment, so you don't get charged for all this networking that things are happening on a compute level on Azure, unless you have a lot of money. Okay, so now we are going to create a resource group. So this resource group, we're going to call it let's say CMCB lab. So what this is going to do, when I say CMCB, that means configuration manager current branch lab, and every machine name will be created after that. CMCB lab DC01 MP01, it's going to be like that. So we're going to do that. Here we are going to click on East US, and I'm just going to put demo. And here we are going to say standalone. We don't want this one. We want to standalone everything just in one setup. Here is administrator. So you don't use the admin or administrator account names. You want to use something like, say, for example, CCM admin. That works. So the password, make sure it's a strong password, because later on you will have issues if the password is not correct. And it's because you put one time. Just make sure you know this password, because it doesn't have that second verification in there. Okay, everything else looks good. You just click on create, and what we are going to get from this 7 resources, create right here. So with one button you are going to create a whole SCCM environment. That is what the beauty of cloud, I believe, right now, because back in the days when we found out that there's imaging, so you can install a computer operating system manually, and it takes, like, let's say 40 minutes back in the days. Then we found out that there's imagings or deployments and things like that, so you could do it on 4,000 machines. We got really happy as an IT professionals, because things got easier. And then more we go into modernized world, we found out better tools. And this is one of the part right now with the cloud, because look, if you can do something as tedious as SCCM installation like this, then that tells you that cloud has some benefits. So that's where, if you are interested in becoming a sysadmin, then maybe that's something that you should consider. That, okay, you know what, I'm going to be learning about servers and everything like that, but I need to be learning about these different type of deployments now that can make me marketable, or people will be respecting this type of skills. And at the end, people say, oh, what about those server skills and everything? Here, you still need server skills. What it's doing, it's creating 3 servers right now, and you still need to know about networking, even though it's on the kind of like a internet or web page, or software defined networking. You can still see it's networking, right? It's still the same IP addresses. You still need to know about the basics of networks. You still need to know about how the operating systems over here. And it's what it's doing right now. It's creating all these machines. It's doing, it's using a workflow, which is part of Microsoft, and then you can put PowerShell in that, and then basically that's what's happening right now. So that's going to get created. Everything will get created. It's going to take some time. You see right here on the top. But if you're interested in knowing where to go to all resources, and you can see that's all resources. If you do a resource group, that is the resource group that we just created. This one also got created with it. So keep in mind, these 2 resource groups needs to be deleted if you want to save your money. So if I click here, that's what's happening inside. Virtual machine is getting created. Disks are getting created right here. Network interface, another disk right there. So many things are happening right here. If you just want to see virtual machines, click here, and that's the virtual machine. So you can see DC01, CL01, MP01, and PS01. These are the machines. This is a domain controller that is going to get that changes automatically, right? Everything is happening automatically. This machine will be promoted to domain. It's going to get restarted. Then once it's restarted, these machines are going to get restarted, and these machines will be added to this domain automatically as well. You don't need to do anything. You just need to wait for it till the deployment is fully done. So you gotta wait for this. It's going to take some time, by the way, so be patient. Just go ahead, grab some coffee, come back again, and let's just log into it again to verify the domain controller, to verify the SQL server and other things are running, and then we'll move forward. All right, so after some time, the deployment is completed. We are going to close this, and then we will test domain controller and all these different machines. Now you can see, if you have left your page like that, simply click on refresh here, and now it's running. Okay, so we're going to click on DC right here to connect to DC first and check the credentials and everything. Let's go and do the RDP. How am I connecting? Actually, sorry, I'm jumping here. So you're gonna click on overview, click on it, click on top, connect, and again, if you're new to Azure, that's where everything is there, right? So that workflow is right here as an extension that ran successfully. So if you click here, see provision succeeded, and you was using the PowerShell. So if we go back to the overview right here, again, if you want to learn all this stuff, then take our AZ104 course, MD100 and MD101 if you are totally new to this stuff. Click on connect RDP. We're going to download RDP, and now we're going to connect to this system. So I believe we did CCM admin, and this is the password that I created. And if you can see right there, it's actually using a contoso.com. So if I log into the domain controller now, this should have an Active Directory. The restart should have happened. Everything should have been basically done by now, because time has passed. So if we're gonna wait for this and let it run, and then we'll try the other machines as well. Click yes on the networking side, and that is basically what gives us the domain controller ADDS is running. We can go to tools right here, Active Directory users and computers. That's what I was talking about, that when we said that the script is also creating a contoso.com right here, that's done from the script. I did not touch this machine. So if you expand this right here, we can see that our user is there as well. The CCM admin account is right here. We're going to go to properties, and then we have member of right here. It's schema admins and then enterprise admin. This is all done for you. So if we go back now and we go to the different machines, which is, let's say, the client machine, if you log into that machine, that should also be on a domain that is running right now. So again, the same IP addresses and everything was created from this workflow. And if we come over here, connect RDP, and we're going to log in exactly the same way we logged into the other machine. If you click on connect here and you type SCCM admin, and of course that's the account that you have created in your environment, so you have to be using that. I'm trying to see if I put the wrong password. Oh, there. So look, it's already connected to the domain. And if you want to verify that, you can go back to the domain computer and look, all these 3 computers are already in there automatically. So I'm gonna click yes. We're gonna log into that machine. All right, we're going to accept that. That's just Windows 10 stuff. So this is the client machine. This is a Windows 10 machine right here. You can verify it by going to System. Windows 10 Pro 1903. Okay, so let's test this machine now. Download. It's also connected to our domain. We're going to log in. All right, so let's test this one, which has a SQL server for configuration manager. We're going to download it. So it's also the same server. It's a normal server, but it has a SQL setup done for configuration manager. I keep saying SCCM. Okay, we're gonna log in. Yep, so you can see if you open this server, there's a SQL Server 2019. SQL Server tools, if you want to open management from here, you can open it from here. And the SQL Server is running, configuration is running from here. So there's a lot done over here as well. We don't touch none of this stuff, but I just wanted to show you that this is also a normal server that's running a SQL for configuration manager. So after this, what's next? After this, you will leave this process running because there are scripts still working. Even though deployment is done, the scripts are still running to install the SCCM, the configuration manager on machines. So then of course you don't see it right now. You will have to come back later on and see what's going on. If you are actually interested in knowing the scripts and how things are working, so you could, now I'm not sure if exactly how it's like a live update, but let's just check it. You could go to the PS01 machine right here, and then here if you open let's open the Windows Explorer, and if you just type %win_dir %, if you do that, you open the temp file over here. Just go to the temp like that, and in here I believe, let's see which one is that, provision scripts right here. If we click on that, that's where we can and then see if the scripts are running. So this is where the scripts will run, and you need to basically kind of wait for this to finish up. If for some reason there are issues, then of course we can come over here and try to run some of these scripts. So maybe that will work for us. But like I said, I wouldn't do anything with it because right now these scripts are coming directly from where you have started from Azure. So we'll leave this right now for now, okay? In case you do want to check the whole process, is it completed or not, we can open this file right here, open with, and let's open it with Notepad. So there you go. It's not started, right? So none of this stuff is right here. Look at this, install SCCM, and that's running right now. So you need to make sure you leave this machine running and not restart it. It's critical, because that's why you did all this stuff. Now it's installing the SCCM. After that, it's going to do this upgrade. It's going to install the client, install the DP, the MP, and once everything is done, we're going to see done right here, finished. Okay, so that's very important to make sure we don't mess with nothing right now, because you wanted that automated flow. Let it run. If there's any issues, then we already know the SQL is set up. We already know we have the servers, everything is there. We already know where the scripts are. We can kind of play around with this, try to figure this out, how to do this, but you know where it is now. This is where you can, if you want to learn more, you can after when this is all done, you could probably copy these scripts, open it up a little bit, and see what's going on in these scripts to understand more about SCCM. I'm sure you're going to keep learning more and more new things as you go with that. So let's wait for this whole process to finish up. We'll come back again and check this file. If things are finished, then we'll just go ahead and then we'll do the support side of things that I wanted to tell you in the beginning. If you're a sysadmin wanting to learn this, then you have this whole system to play around with it, understand SCCM a little bit more in detail, maybe do some deployments, maybe connect it to the Intune and play around with that way. So there's the learning is endless over here. If you want to know if it's working, this whole installation, because you don't see it, it's silent. So if you click on start now, after some time, here you go, you'll see a configuration manager console just right there. But I wouldn't try to start anything at this point. You can see things are happening. It's not fully completed yet, so you can see it's just popped up right there. So that's the reason I wouldn't open these applications while it's running over here. Wait for the whole logs to finish up, and it's going to give you a pretty nice check mark that everything is done. Then try to proceed to the application skills after that. Okay. That's just a little tip right there. So here's an example. If you double click on this, it says finish installing CM configuration manager. So now if you want to know what is the next step, you right click on it, open with Notepad, and now we are in this upgrade SCCM. So if the current branch was kind of like, let's say whatever version is that, and there was a new version available, it is going to go ahead and upgrade that, because it's easy to upgrade these service current branches in this configuration manager. After that, it's going to install the client on this machine, so then we can see the same machine on that, and it's just going to move on to the other pieces of configuration manager. So I let this run for all night, and of course I would recommend the same thing for you. So patience is required if you're a new person. It takes time. So right click on this and then go back. Now after that many hours, you're going to see complete, and that's what we want at the end, right? We want everything to be completed successfully. You could see the log specifically, like what happened, if you want to see that it has an upgrade running. So did it upgrade in anything? Yes, it does. Some hot fixes in there, everything is done. If you want to see did the client install, you want to see more logs, that's for your own learning. So now how do we go back and test it? Now let's go ahead and open configuration manager and see what happens. So it is trying to connect, and usually it should connect if you have properly logged in. So here's the problem. What is it saying? The user account running the configuration manager console has insufficient permission. This is where your your troubleshooting will kick in. Some people will take this and copy it, go to Google, and in Google you're going to see that it's going to tell you that you need to log into the application to add this user. But then you're like, okay, I cannot even get into the application. So this is where the basics is extremely important, and that's why I need to now address our members who are watching this for the first time. You need to learn fundamentals. Now I'm going to move to the fundamental troubleshooting, which I learned from our fundamental courses, or any A+ type of course, or where people can teach you some fundamental knowledge. Here you could have simply went into to try to troubleshoot this from this error, it could have taken you to different route on Google, spend hours and hours and hours, but still you won't be able to fix it quickly because you lack fundamentals. So I'm going to open CMD right here and use the first command, which is a very basic command for me to find out, am I even logged in correctly to the right profile? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type who am I, and here it tells me that you're logged into this machine with this account, which tells me my issue is related to the account that I'm logged in right now. And that's why I mentioned in the beginning that keep in mind when you log into these machines from Azure or anywhere else, you need to log in as a domain account. So if I can verify this, I can use this command now, fqdn. So I'm using whoami/fqdn. If I do this, look at this right here, unable to get a fully qualified distinguished name fqdn. Okay, that tells me that I'm not even logged into this machine with the domain profile. So that is the reason why you're getting this message. Okay, so how do we fix this? Okay, we will have to fix this because I need to log out of this machine, and when you log out of this machine, what happens? Azure is going to disconnect, right? So let's go ahead and do this. There you go, it got disconnected. So let's go back to the portal.azure.com. And now we're logged in, and we want to log back into that machine, which is this machine right here. And we're going to click on Connect RDP. And here, what we are going to do now, we're going to log into this machine with Contoso slash the username and password. It's very important to know that, okay? Because I don't know what happened to my. There you go. So I'm going to use Contoso slash CCM admin, and now the password. Oh, that's not the right password. Sorry about that. There you go. So now let's see if I am logged into a correct profile. You can see the first message popped up right here. That means I'm logging into this profile for the first time. So now what we're going to do is we are going to open CMD again. Okay, I just want to show you the same exact results of the command. And look, when I logged in last time, it was just this. It says now Contoso right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do who am I again. Contoso, there you go, changed. I already know that I'm going in the right direction. FQDN. Oh, that's FQ. Always make mistake. There you go. I'm logged into the domain with the username, user, and this is a container, users, and then contoso.com. So I'm already good. If you want to check if you're part of a domain, you can do echo log on server, and it tells you that you're a part of demo DC01 domain controller. That tells me that I am good to go. So now if I go back and I click start, and let's open the SCCM. Now you see it didn't show on the top right here, but it's right here. I'm Microsoft Endpoint Manager, and even when you open that on other profile, this was not showing. That should tell you that there's some issue going on and you're not on the right profile. Here, when we connect to the configuration manager now, it is going to try to connect. A new version of console is available. Click OK to close the console and install the new version now. Click cancel to continue working with the old. So you could click OK to get into the older console, or you can click cancel to download a new one. For now, I'm going to cancel. Later on, when we do a second part of this, we're going to do installations and getting into this system. So now this is it. How awesome is this? Like, you haven't done anything SQL, you haven't done anything on AD, you haven't done anything on accounts. If you take my talking out because of the training, you could have this running with no problem, with just clicking and just knowing what I did at the end, because that's very important. Now you got a whole SCCM ready, and even clients are connected to the SCCM. There you go. You got a whole client connected. The client, the agent is actually running on that machine, which is what I'm going to show you as a support skills. When they say we are looking for SCCM, do you know anything about SCCM? But they're actually saying that, do you know how to right click here? Do you know how to go to start? Do you know how to do remote control like that? So when you click on remote control, it's going to go out there and it's going to open that machine and you can remote control it. But of course, we haven't done anything on this right now. We haven't set up this application for remote control or anything like that. So there could be issues. There could be a problem with the handshake. There could be a problem with the way that machine is connected or the profile is connected. Maybe it's locally logged on right now at this point. So you have to understand that, you know, certain things we are going to try to fix next. In next video, we are going to understand how to do this stuff now. Right? Application deployment, connecting this to the Intune is going to be another one we can try from cloud right here. You can connect this to with Intune or Azure services. You know, there's a lot you can do with this product now because you were able to install it. So that was the whole key of this video. Next video, I'm going to show you step by step what you need to learn as a support professional. And now you have the capability to get to a setup like this, which is very complex. And now you can get in to add that into your experience. So what can you put on your resume now? Do you have experience with Intune? Oh, sorry, with the Configuration Manager SCCM? Oh yes, I have actually used Azure, and I use a template to deploy a whole SCCM Configuration Manager setup. In that, I set up my whole lab environment. I did a remote control after this. So if you watch the whole series that I'm going to post, if you watch that, you're going to be able to talk about this stuff, and that is massive. That is massive when you go to the interview, and if they are using SCCM and if you talk about all of this stuff, trust me, the other person is thinking about, oh my God, thank you so much, because I don't have to teach this person everything from scratch. If this person knows how to do this person knows about Active Directory, basic commands, troubleshooting, blah, 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 and that is what they're looking for. A lot of people say, yeah, you know, only soft skills is great and all that. That's great. Everybody's going to try that. But, you know, a lot of people don't want to do this work. They don't want to do this teaching with you on the job. A lot of people have their own family time and everything. Very few people would go to extensive detail like this. They're gonna actually give you a course, and then when you go to the courses, they're extremely advanced, and that is where things gets messed up. Okay, thank you so much. If you feel this video is great, make sure to leave me some kind of message or a comment that how do you feel now. You know you can do this very easily now. So how do you feel? Let me know, because then from that base, I feel like I am hitting the right points over here, and I'm not teaching a whole SCCM at this point. That is something we're going to teach later on, how to become an SCCM administrator. So then we can go into extreme details and go backtrack and do everything again, scratch, logs. If SCCM is broken, blah, 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 how do you fix it? All that stuff will be covered then. Thank you so much.